Hello, this is Richard Miles with Board Game Authority, and I have another Kickstarter success tip video for you today. And before we get into the video, I have to mention our sponsor, Restless Entropy Games. Their upcoming game Armor in Ash will be on Kickstarter soon, so please head over to the Restless Entropy game page or check out the Armor in Ash entry on Board Game Geek for more information. Now let's get into the video. This video is going to go over one specific thing of this campaign. I'm not going to take too much time to go over the campaign page as a whole. I want to focus on one specific detail. So this campaign is for this, again, not a board game, but what they do can very easily be applied to the board game sector. Here we have this tent hammock combo. Okay, and they are pretty successful. They asked for $20,000. They're at $255,000. So it's a pretty successful campaign by any measure. So let's just scroll down and look at what's going on here. You know, the campaign page as a whole looks really nice. It's got nice heading graphics to separate the different sections. It's got a lot of images. But as we mentioned in my last video, we're going to see some things here that I hope is going to be a growing trend in the board game sector, and that is right here, back this project. And then you can keep going down, and let's see here. There's another one. This one has a heart. Back this project. Back this project. We see that again. And that's not what I want to talk about. I bring that up because I mentioned it in my previous video talking about the Fidget Cube, where they had very similar buttons, graphics in their right in their campaign page, and what this does is duplicate this this project button at the top of the page. But it's a lot easier for your users if you put the button in this area, because as they're reading down the page, as they're scrolling down with their eyes and their mouse, it's very easy to have this right here and have them click the button and pledge right here, as opposed to over here where they're not looking. Their focus is not over here. So this is just going to increase conversion. But let's keep going down. They have a share icon, and here's what I want to show. Watch this. Are we seeing this? It looks like, look at that. Look at that. It looks like people are leaving comments right now. It looks like people are talking about this project on social media right now. You've seen very similar things that are actual comments happening in real time. This is not. This is just a repeating GIF. So the contents just kind of recycle. They just continue on a loop. But it looks like people are having a conversation, and even if you take the minute to look and see, like, oh, that's not happening live, this isn't like a feed from Facebook showing the comments, it still works. It doesn't take anything away, and it is still showing how people on Facebook, and for most people you can recognize that this comes from Facebook. You can read their comments. These are I assume, and that's what they're trying to, that's the goal, right? Is that I'm going to assume that these comments are real. These are legitimate comments, that they're not solicited, they're not paid for. These are real people talking about the product, the project, and they're presenting it to you in this manner of, here's a next one, here's a next one, here's another one. They just keep coming. What this is doing is strengthening the social proof aspect of the campaign. And what that is, if you're not familiar with that term, social proof, is letting others validate your campaign, your project, your product, what it is you're trying to sell. Social proof is a very powerful way of saying that my product, what I'm trying to sell you, is valid because these other people say it is. Like, don't take my word for it. You don't have to trust me, the creator. These other people have tried it, or they've had their hands on it, they've looked at it, and they like it too. They enjoy it, they love it, they like it not only a little bit, they like it so much that they're turning to social media to talk about it. And so it encourages the belief that the product is a well-needed, sound investment, that you're going to get your money's worth, you're going to be happy with it. And this type of social proof, I think, is necessary. In the board game community, we do something similar, and that is third-party reviews. Okay, so we send out our game, whether it's a prototype or a finished game. We send out the game on Kickstarter. It's usually a prototype, and then seeing either a written review or a video review for that game. What my suggestion is continue doing that, because that is great, but also add something like this for a lot of people that's going to hit home. It's going to just be all the social proof that they need to say, how can all these people be wrong? I'm going to go ahead and back the project. They have a back the project button right here. So after you're seeing it, you're seeing these people say, "Oh, I love it. This is the Rolls Royce of tints." Stuff like that. That's just, that's great. And right here's the back to project. This is great. And I highly recommend adding something like this, whether you're pulling text from Facebook or Board Game Geek or a personal website where people are commenting on your blog or whatever. The more that you authenticate it, instead of just typing out the text as plain text, the more valid and trusted it becomes. And that's what you're trying to do on your campaign page, is basically you're trying to say, trust me, right? That is like the one thing that's lacking on Kickstarter is that trust. And especially for first-time project creators and things of that nature, the trust factor and getting people over that hurdle of, I'm going to give these people my money, but I have all these, there's a bunch of unknowns. I don't know if they're going to actually provide the product when everything is said and done. I don't know if I'm going to wait 2 years, have 3 updates during that time, and never hear from this individual again. Like that's a trust issue, and that's what this social proof is trying to overcome. The second trust issue is, well, I'm gonna pledge for this game or whatever project it might be, but am I gonna like it when I get it? Am I gonna be satisfied? So this kind of social proof of, man, I love it. This is great. This is the Rolls Royce of tints. That you can apply the same to board games. You can apply it, in almost the exact same manner, where this is the greatest game since, insert other game title here. Or, man, I really love this type of game, and this one is it. One of the games that is on my mind a lot right now, just because I'm enjoying playing it a lot, is Valyria Card Kingdoms, if I'm pronouncing that right. I pronounced that name Valyria about 4 different ways, I think, because I've heard it pronounced that many different ways, so I don't know which is correct. Anyway, that game, a lot of people say, is the Manchokoro killer, and I've heard that said so many times, and that's that kind of thing that real people say. Like, nobody's making that up. Like, I've heard people say that. So if there are people saying that on Board Game Geek, and you're not paying them to say that or anything like that, and you can do a screenshot of them saying that and put it on your campaign page, that's going to help a lot more than just saying that this Board Game Geek user said it was a Manchokoro killer, right? The validity and the trust factor go up the more you authenticate it, and doing a screen capture is just that added degree of authentication. That's all I wanted to talk about today, is adding a little bit of social proof and authenticating that social proof, just a little bit more than adding plain text. By all means, continue, please, to do third-party reviews. That is absolutely necessary for your campaign, but also, if there's anybody on the internet at large that has said a nice thing about your game or your project, take a screenshot and plug it in on your campaign page and let it work its magic. This has been Richard Miles with Board Game Authority. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe and share. It would mean the world to me. And until next time, game on.